everybody. Thanks for jumping on live with us tonight. It's Wednesday evening, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Texas. Thank you so much for jumping on whatever time it is where you are. I always appreciate you here with us either live or on the rebroadcast. Tonight we are going to be discussing the reasons why we intermittent fast. If you're new to this community, welcome. We always love new, amazing women in this community that we have developed here. If you're new to YouTube, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. And if you're joining us live or on the rebroadcast with Facebook, again, take a second to hit that like button so that you will be notified when we go live and or upload content to these platforms. If you're new, I always like to take a second as well to introduce myself. My name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I have been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And here in this amazing community, we are doing that through the practice of intermittent fasting and creating an intermittent fasting lifestyle, or a keto-like lifestyle that really does allow us the opportunity to live our life most authentically. Today, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why we decide to intermittent fast. But before I jump into that, I really want to take a second to sort of clarify or define the difference between intermittent fasting and extended fasting. And that will kind of lead us or kind of help us cross over into the reasons why we choose to intermittent fast. So intermittent fasting by definition is a 24-hour window where you choose a feasting window and a fasting window within that 24-hour time frame. Extended fasting is considered fasting that is done outside of a 24-hour period. So outside of a normal, circle of a day's time frame. Extended fasting is done for a lot of reasons, but extended fasting is considered in some circles extreme type of fasting. Here in this community, I highly recommend or encourage you to really get comfortable with intermittent fasting because you can accomplish and achieve so many amazing results while still living a pretty solid life with food incorporated in your window. But extended fasting is practiced, and it's practiced primarily for deep cellular healing. It is being practiced in the world of medicine as far as a tool that is being used to help offset some of the long-term negative effects of chemotherapy and some radiation treatments. It's also being used in the clinical and research world with cancer type situations where they're using extended fasting protocols along with a monitored regimen of nutrients and electrolytes to see what can be done to help reduce and or eliminate cancer situations as an alternative means to medicine. Extended fasting is often used in religious practices as well, and oftentimes it's done to just make a statement. There's been plenty of times where people have fasted as a means to sort of show a protest to things that they didn't agree with. So extended fasting has been practiced, and again, it's one of those things that can be done for a lot of reasons. I always highly recommend that if you're going to do anything over 24 hours as far as fasting goes, that you please do your research and understand some of the effects that can happen to our bodies if we practice extended fasting and we don't do it the correct way. There is a methodology to it. There are some things that you have to be aware of as far as electrolytes in your body, refeeding syndrome. And if you're extended fasting for the sole purpose of losing weight, you do need to be aware that as soon as you go back to eating, all of the weight that you lost will come back on. And for some people, some other negative things can happen as well. So just be very well educated and do your research before you tap into anything that is considered extended fasting. I believe, and through some of the practices that we've done here, anything between a 24 and a 36 hour type of fasting window can be done pretty regularly and without seeing any sort of negative side effects. So that is just one of those things that if you're not feeling hungry or you're feeling pretty energized and you feel like extending a fast, usually that 24 to 36 hours is something that can be done pretty routinely and can be done very easily. Just make sure you're drinking lots of water and you have replenished your electrolytes. So let's get into intermittent fasting. Like I said, intermittent fasting is considered a 24-hour period where you have a window of feasting and a window of fasting. Generally, the feasting window is a lot shorter than the fasting window, and the fasting is really where we're reaping the best benefits. There are many reasons for fasting, just intermittent fasting, just like there is for extended fasting. Women and men have been intermittent fasting for the reason of simplicity in their daily life around food. When you have a very short feasting window and a very long fasting window, life is very simple. You really only have to eat 1 or 2 meals a day, and if you're a busy professional or you're a busy parent or you're just a busy person, intermittent fasting can be one of those things that can really free up your time because you're not constantly chasing down that 2-hour eating window and having to do a lot of prep as far as having food readily available to accommodate a frequent eating pattern. Intermittent fasting is also practiced very widely in the fitness world. Primarily in the fitness world, they do like a 16 to 8 type of fasting and feasting window. And you do that again just for that opportunity to enhance what your body already does in an exercise state. Human growth hormone opportunities are escalated when you're fasting, and you can really reduce a lot of body fat and produce a lot of lean muscle. So it's always, it's often used in the fitness arena as well. There are also reasons for intermittent fasting if you just are not a person that really like enjoys having food all day. I know for me, I got to that point because I was eating the every 2 hours, 6 times a day. It becomes very mundane and almost sort of boring to have to chase down that next meal. And so what I found with intermittent fasting is that it really did bring back the joy of eating. And the other thing that I've really enjoyed about intermittent fasting is that when I eat, instead of eating very tiny kind of portioned out meals throughout a day, I found that when I was intermittent fasting, because my feasting window was so small, so short in my day, that I really got to eat what would be considered a real meal or a full-sized meal. And that's another one of the benefits of intermittent fasting, especially socially. If you are someone who is watching your weight or have been suffering some overeating type of illnesses or overeating sort of ailments that we all end up ending at some point in our life, intermittent fasting can be that thing that really does help alleviate those things because you're giving your body an opportunity to just rest. So here in this community, the primary reason that we are intermittent fasting is to heal our bodies from the inside out. And we're healing our bodies on so many different levels. We're healing our bodies from, like I said, some of the ailments that we have been suffering because of the way that we have been introducing nutrition into our bodies for several years, that we are now finding to be not the best practice as far as eating every 2 hours and starting your day with a carb-loaded breakfast. Studies are now showing that that is really not the way that we have been designed to consume nutrition, and we're not best suited to get through our day. So here, like I said, we are practicing intermittent fasting for the purpose of really healing our bodies from the inside out. One of the first things that we notice with intermittent fasting, the way I teach it in the course that I teach, is the reduction of inflammation in our body. And that is because we're just giving our body an opportunity to have a break during our fasting window and really process through all of the stored nutrients and calories that we have been packing on over the course of our lifetime. And one of the things that happens when you get yourself into a really solid fasting window is your body just releases a lot of that inflammation. So we're reducing inflammation. You know that if you've studied anything about inflammation, then inflammation is one of the primary things that is breaking us down from the inside out. For a lot of us aging women especially, we're suffering from cognitive breakdown, we're losing our memory, we have brain fog, we're suffering numerous autoimmune disorders, we are putting on hormonal weight in places that we never had to deal with hormonal body weight and body fat before. And intermittent fasting in this community has really helped us reverse all of those things that I just listed. Intermittent fasting is also one of those things that we have found in this community to really help us heal emotionally and mentally with how we handle food in our everyday life. When I first started this community of women here, and when we first launched our course, our goal was really to just kind of heal our body from the inflammation and the pre-diabetic states that a lot of us were suffering from, and from the cognitive decline that we were all suffering from. And I never really imagined, for myself especially, that I would be able to really heal some of those past scars and some of those past emotional, I guess, food traumas that I had from my childhood on. And we really started focusing on our food story, and the feedback that we've gotten from so many women who have suffered from the same type of emotional relationship with food are now finding themselves feeling very healed as well. And I think when you stop being sort of enslaved to food, and you give yourself permission to take a good chunk of your day and just do nothing that has to do with food, and you really replenish your body with really good water, and you allow your body an opportunity to just be energized off of its own resources, and you give it an opportunity to have a break and use its energy and its resources to do what it has been designed to do. And our bodies have really been designed to take care of themselves, and we over time have been taught to interfere with that. And when we stop interfering with that, and we really start focusing on what our body has been trying to tell us as it's slowly breaking itself down, is that it just needs a break. And the break that we have been able to provide our body to give it a chance to heal, and to give it a chance to reverse some of those ailments that we have caused due to lack of information and lack of knowledge and lack of paying attention to our own bodies, is really what has turned the corner for so many of us women. And we just have to understand that it's okay that we have done some things wrong in the past, and it's okay that we have followed blindly people that maybe we shouldn't have been following. But now there's a new set of rules on the deck for us, and there's this new way of living. And it really is an opportunity for us to be empowered with the choices that we make for our body, with the choices that we're making with our health, and the choices that we're making with our emotional and mental mindset, and really giving ourselves permission to take care of ourselves and to be healthy and to think and feel healthy thoughts about what we have going on with our body and how it is we are going to nourish it. So there's many reasons to intermittent fast, and here what I really like to encourage every woman to do is take the time to get to know your body. Take the time to understand why certain things are breaking down, and really give yourself an honest opportunity to take a huge chunk out of your day and do absolutely nothing except listen to the signs and signals that your body is sending to you, and then respond kindly. And for a lot of us, responding kindly just means taking a break, drinking lots of great water, maybe having a cup of black coffee, and really giving your body that opportunity to balance itself out. And then once you get yourself balanced out, your reasons for intermittent fasting might change, and the way you intermittent fast might change as well. And all that is great. All of that is exactly the process that we want to get through, so we can get to that point where we can really look and feel our best and live our most authentic life. So I know a lot of you are jumping on and you're leaving comments. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into YouTube first. So if you guys don't mind, my amazing husband is going to read the YouTube comments and questions for me, and then I will go ahead and answer them for you guys here. And then Facebook, if you guys don't mind, I will jump on after and address some of your questions and comments as well. And for those of you who are new and have been messaging Kara and myself about our next course, we are starting our next course on August 4th. And that course runs for 3 weeks. We do a week of intermittent fasting. So I teach you how to intermittent fast correctly for the reasons that you want to see the results for yourself. I teach you a week of intermittent feasting. So really taking a week to figure out why it is that food has been breaking us down and why it is we feel the way we do about food. And then the third week, we go over the social and emotional aspects of living this type of lifestyle, and how do we handle that and some of the pressures that we feel in society when we want to do something that's going to allow us to look and feel our best. So it's a complete course, 3 weeks in. It starts on August 4th. Kara's really good about putting the links in the comment section. So if you're interested, please click on those links, and we would love to have you in our course for August. So Michael, go ahead.
Di Timperley, she says hi from Jerrabomberra in Australia. And we have Jessica Salas. She says, how many hours do you sleep?
As many as I can. The beautiful thing about what I have developed for myself with this lifestyle is I really do listen to my body. And there are some days where everything just clicks, and I literally can function amazingly well on 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And then there's other days where, and it's usually on the weekends because we're all home and everybody can sleep in, I can get 8 or 9 hours of sleep that are deep, sound, restful sleep. So I sort of let my body decide what kind of sleep it needs. I try not to use an alarm clock too much unless I have something specific I have to get up for. So I really do kind of just listen to my body. And there's some days I need more sleep, and then there's some days I can get away with less. And I kind of just go with the flow on that. What I have found, though, with intermittent fasting and what we're doing in our feasting window and some of the supplementation that we've added in, it doesn't matter if I have 5 hours of sleep or I have 8 or 9 hours of sleep. My sleep is solid and it's restful, and I feel amazing. So I think sometimes what we have to think about with sleeping, it's the same thing as food, is every body is different and every body requires different levels of sleep and different hours of sleep. So what you want to concentrate on is the quality of sleep that you're getting when you are sleeping. And so maybe I would say maybe focus on that and then find what good sleeping window works well for you.
Karen Hodge says hi from North Carolina.
Hello, girl.
Trudy Morris, good evening from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, Trudy.
Patricia Brill, hello from Surprise, Arizona. Tina Stanisia, hi to you and Michael from New York. I am a July graduate and doing the transitional course to support my friend Ann, who signed up for the August course.
Awesome.
We are so excited.
Awesome.
Sarah Robinson, hi from Wildomar, California. Kira Laprise, I've tried a 4-day water fast for the purpose of healing, and my goal is to do a 10-day this month, but I prefer intermittent fasting for lifestyle.
Yep.
Dania Vithar, can we have bone broth? Is it good?
I don't know what the can we. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I never like to give people permission to do anything. If you enjoy bone broth, I think bone broth is great. I always just say know where your source is so you know it's good quality. And there's really great health benefits to bone broth. So if it's something you enjoy, definitely enjoy it in your feasting window.
Okay, and we have Kira again. Kira Laprise, what does one of your courses offer that we can't get from listening to your YouTube videos?
Oh, you hopefully someone on YouTube who's taken the course can say that. Maybe who was it that's joined the course and her friend's joining the course? You just read her comment. Maybe she can tell you what you get from the course that you don't get from these live videos.
Oh, that's Tina Stancy.
Yeah, so Tina, maybe you can leave a comment for us over on YouTube about what's different about the course.
Diana Prince, I've been intermittent fasting for the past 16 days. I've lost 6 pounds so far, and my cravings for sugar have gone down tremendously.
Awesome.
Okay, and Diana Prince, what's your eating window?
My eating window varies now, but when I was intermittent fasting for healing purposes, my window was 20 hours of clean fasting. So nothing but water and black coffee for 20 hours. And I did it every single day for several months.
Then there's a sex question. Fresa Rojas. Hello, Miss Diane. Does intermittent fasting help with sex drive and vaginal dryness? Thank you.
Well, I don't know, because that's a very personal question, and everybody's body is different hormonally. So I would say that's probably something you want to talk with your doctor about or do some research on, but it does balance out your hormones. So, but that's something you probably want to do some research on.
That's it over here.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me see here. Let's see. I gotta get my my mouse over there. Okay, awesome. Let's see. Debbie, hello from Illinois. Terry, new to IF. Awesome. Kendra, hello, girlfriend. That's my cousin. Tina, awesome, girlfriend. Always love having you on. No worries on that one. Lisa, Amanda, hello. Debbie, alumni from January and February. Awesome. BJ, hello. And then Sherry, hello. Awesome. Okay, so here's the thing to think about if you're new to intermittent fasting or you're considering starting this type of lifestyle. Okay, let me see. Let me read this really quick. Amanda, went and talked to my doctor today. Best conversation with her ever. She told me to talk about this with anyone who is willing to listen. Yeah, that's so true, Amanda. This is the best way, I think, for, and here's the thing that I always think is so amazing that it's still happening today. I still get these questions. I probably get 2 or 3 a day where people, women, are hearing that we should not intermittent fast because it interrupts our hormones. Everything that we're doing in our everyday life is interrupting our hormones. The deodorant we wear, the air fresheners we have in our home, the things we eat, just the moon cycle. Like there's so many things that interrupt our hormones. All the soy in our food, everything, caffeine, everything interrupts our hormones. So why is it that we would think that intermittent fasting wouldn't interrupt our hormones? It totally interrupts our hormones, but it interrupts them in such a great way. It allows your body to balance them out, because when you're intermittent fasting, all your hormones balance out. And we have to remember that hormones are so much more than just estrogen and progesterone. There's so many hormones that are positively affected by intermittent fasting, and all of our hormones are linked to one another. So when you balance out your hunger hormones, you balance out your estrogen hormones, and when you balance out your estrogen hormones, you're balancing out your insulin, and when you're balancing out your insulin, you're balancing out your cortisol. So all of those hormones act like they're acting with each other. So when one's out of balance, they all are out of balance. So what we really want to remember when we hear all of those things is we want to remember that yes, we're doing this to interrupt the imbalance of our hormones and get it back in balance, and that's not a bad thing. So don't be afraid of something changing in your body. Change is what we're hoping for with intermittent fasting. And what we have found in this community with thousands and thousands of women now is the change is for the good. And that's exactly what we want. But to get to the good, sometimes we have to go through a little bit of rockiness as things are going back to normal. So balancing back into normalism, we have to go through a little bit of uneasiness. And as long as you stick with it through time and consistency, you'll get to that point where everything's good again. Hey, Michelle, good to see you here tonight. So what I wanted to say about this community is that there's a million reasons that we could justify intermittent fasting for. The first one that I think we really need to focus on, if we're not happy with how we're feeling, or not happy with the way our brain is working, or not happy with the inflammation or the hormonal body fat or body weight that we have, and we're not happy with what's happening to us as we're going through this aging process, and the aging process starts when your hormones are changing, right? So the aging process starts for many of us in our teens, and it just seems to get progressively worse as we age. That does not have to be the case if you really understand what something like intermittent fasting for healing purposes can do for you. Because as we're healing, we are really having an opportunity to reverse and or stop some of those aging processes that we are not happy with. And that's really the primary goal that we have here. We have so many testimonials of women who are, getting off of medication, reversing diabetic states, ending insulin resistance, getting their memory back. Stress incontinence is going away. And for so many women, that is such a huge and private situation that we carry around with, that is very life limiting. And I think, every day I get an email from someone who's just shocked their stress incontinence is either better or completely gone. And I know for me, someone who is a runner who was suffering from stress incontinence for so many years since I had my son, so 18 years, I no longer have a stress incontinence problem. And the only thing that I did was intermittent fast and reduce the inflammation in my body. So intermittent fasting for healing purposes works, and it works on so many levels. And then if you start incorporating some of the other reasons that I discussed about intermittent fasting, it just makes your life so much easier. Michael, did you have another comment you wanted to read?
I have Lydia Vasquez. She says, hi from South Carolina. Learning so much from your talks. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so for those of you women who are watching on the sidelines and you're still suffering, or you've been intermittent fasting but you're not seeing any changes that you were hoping for, or if you're wondering the difference between watching these live broadcasts and what goes on in the course, the main difference that I can tell from watching from my vantage point is when you're watching these live broadcasts, it's like having one foot in and one foot out, and you don't have the support system to help you through that sticky point that I talked about. Getting through that sticky point and having a support system and a community of like-minded women is really what helps us all yield the results that we are getting from intermittent fasting. So there is a certain way that women who are aging and really want to reverse those aging symptoms, there's no other way I can describe that, is really being in a position where you can focus on you for a certain period of time and really dig in deep and fast the way that we need to fast to really balance out our hormones and see what it is that we want to see from intermittent fasting, simplifying our life and really giving our body a break from having to digest, break down, and store away all of this food that we have been over consuming for so many years. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go this evening. Like I said, our course does start August 4th. We hold registration open through the 4th. I would love to have you jump into our course with us. It would be my honor to teach you what I know about intermittent fasting for today's aging woman. And I really would love to teach you the simplicity of what making choices and listening to your body can do when your focus is really looking and feeling your best and creating your most authentic life. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for jumping in on the rebroadcast. I always look forward to your questions and comments after we post this live broadcast. So I will see you in social media, and hopefully I will see you in the course starting on the 4th. Have a great night.